Good morning, everybody. So this is Paquetia. I am coming to you with another video this morning. Yesterday, I made a post talking about not quitting your job because it's something that you heard that this is what everybody else is doing. And so I want to talk to you today and just share 3 things that I really think that you should consider before making the decision to just quit your job cold turkey. I think right now, quitting your job really feels like a trendy hashtag on social media because I am somebody who has experienced unemployment for a variety of reasons. And especially within this climate, with so many people are going through company closures and furloughs and things like that. I don't want people making emotional decisions to quit their job, especially having those decisions being influenced by a post or something that you read. I want people to really kind of think through what it means and what it will look like for you personally, your life, your experiences, your situation, should you decide to walk away from your job, walking away from your livelihood, and maybe the unnecessary strain that you may be causing on your household or, things like that, if you make that decision without really kind of looking at the end-to-end ripple effect, if you will. So if you've heard any of my lives, if you've seen any of my videos, then you know that I like to discuss things in groups of 3 because I feel like there is just a key point in the middle and then there are 2 supporting pieces of information on the end to kind of anchor it all together. And so I want to share 3 considerations for you this morning before you commit to quitting your job. Again, I just don't want us to make these emotional decisions. A former pastor of mine used to always say, don't make permanent decisions in temporary situations. And so sometimes the reasons that we want to quit our jobs are really temporary and they're quite emotional. So I want to talk about that. And that's really my first point, is being clear about why it is that you want to quit your job and why you're placing so much urgency on quitting right now. So think about, are you wanting to quit your job because it's overall a toxic or unhealthy environment? Are you wanting to quit your job because you want to pursue new opportunities? Maybe you want to go after something that has a higher salary. You're wanting to quit your job because you're relocating. Some of these are valid reasons to want to exit. But then other reasons, again, they are temporal and quite emotional. So I really want you to take a moment and differentiate between, what it is that is temporal and emotional and what it is that is long-term and logical, right? So if you're relocating, if you're looking for a higher salary, if you want to utilize skills, maybe you've got some new skills under your belt and you're not able to use them in your current capacity. And so you're looking for opportunities just to be able to stretch yourself professionally. Those situations, highly warranted on wanting to kind of transition and look for another opportunity. But that doesn't mean that you would have to, the way you would execute against that is quitting cold turkey, walking off the job, turning in your 2 weeks notice, right? Then there are the other things. Maybe you've got some conflicts at work. You don't get along with your manager. You don't get along with your coworkers. You don't like the vision or the direction that your company is taking. You've had a leadership change and you're just not meshing well. All of these are great reasons to want to leave your job. And so I am not suggesting by any means that you not consider pursuing other opportunities if these are some of your situations. But let's make sure that we have an effective exit plan to be able to do that, and that we're just not making a decision that could have other ripple effects that you haven't accounted for. So the first one is being really clear about why it is that you want to quit your job. The next one is, do you have a plan? Have you done the research? Again, so this is my key point that will anchor everything else. If you have a plan, then you've already started thinking about how much time that you can afford to actually be unemployed. You've already started looking long term. You've already started researching other companies. You've already started engaging recruiting partners and socializing your resume, letting people know that you are in the job market, letting people know that you are relocating and you're wanting to set up meet and greets in new cities. You've already started doing whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that your transition is smooth and it's fluid. If you have a plan, you've already started researching kind of all the additional attributes to making sure that as you are able to leave your job, transition from one place, that you don't burn bridges, because you never know. You never know. The same ladder that you have to use to climb up is the same ladder that you'll be using when you climb back down. And trust and believe, you will see some of the same faces in different capacities. So you don't want to be that person that pisses off a lot of people because you made emotional decisions and didn't plan and have long-term execution strategies, and then you find yourself at another company and you think that this is your dream opportunity and it's the same manager from your last situation, and because you burned them when you walked away from that role, now you're here and the relationship is quite contentious. In addition to contentious relationships, if your manager found out that you were considering leaving or looking for another role, and people talk, it's a small world when it comes, you are 6 degrees separated from every person, right? In one way or another. So you will never know that if you have started networking or things like that, you'll never know how information is able to get back. So you want to make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to present the information, how you're going to present that you're leaving, that you control the narrative. If this is not a forced separation, meaning that you're being fired, you're being furloughed, you were laid off, your company closed, things like that. If it's not forced and you fully control the narrative, you control your timing, you control when you leave, how you leave, all of that, you control how you communicate about it. You want to be able to make sure that it works in a way that you benefit from everything that's happening. You don't want to have a plan to exit, and you don't control any of the narrative. So you just want to make sure that you have looked at, again, what the end-to-end ripple effects could potentially be. You want to control the narrative, making sure that the communication is when and what it is that you want to say, how you want to convey that information. You want to make sure that you've set up these appointments and these channels so that you can start kind of moving and networking and building community and creating a space for you as you transition from one point in time to the next. The last one that I will talk about is, can you afford to be unemployed? Like, how long before everything goes to hell in a handbasket? Think about these things. If you give a 2 weeks notice and your pay is on a Friday, you've got this pay, right? This coming Friday or, the next Friday in the pay cycle. And then you have the next 2 weeks, depending on when when you've given your letter of resignation. So you have that. So you've got some consistent income up into a point in time. But then what does that look like? Do you have savings? Are you planning to do early withdrawals from your retirement? Do you even have a retirement? Do you have retirement savings? Is someone else do you share household expenses or expenses with someone else? Are you leaving them holding the bag? Do you have at least 3 to 6 months, because you don't know how long your transition is going to take? So are you just assuming that you're going to walk off one thing and into another thing? What's the plan? What's the plan? How are you going to financially take care of yourself? Do you have kids? If you're married, if you have a spouse, you're in a relationship, have you had these conversations financially? What is the impact to you choosing to quit your job? What's the impact on your family, on your household? What are the other obligations that you have? Are you a healthy person? Do you need to see your doctor regularly? Can you afford your company's COBRA plan? If you decide to quit your job, you'll probably have another, you'll have the length of your pay cycle to use your health care benefits. I know doctors' offices, their calendars are a little bit different now given the times that we're in. So are you going to be able to get all of your physical care resolved? Do you wear glasses? Do you need to go to the dentist? Like all of those things. And then not only you, but are you the person who carries the health benefits for your family and for your household? What kind of impacts are you walking away from your job without having a plan, without that strategy in place? What does it do to everybody else that you're responsible for? Are you able to take care of your living expenses? And then how long are you able to take care of your living expenses? All of those questions need to be answered before you make that decision to quit your job. And again, listen, I am not suggesting that you don't quit a job that is no longer fulfilling, that you're not able to use your skills, you're being underutilized, that the relationships are toxic, that the workplace is stressful, full of trauma. I'm not suggesting that you stay long-term indefinitely. I am saying that you plan for your exit so that your transition can be as seamless as possible. And so there are a couple of things that you can start doing right now to make sure financially you'll be taken care of. Are there things that you can start cutting back on now? Can you start getting all of your appointments scheduled for your doctor, for your family, making sure that everybody is at least good for another year, right? You've got all your shots and, dentists and, new glasses, prescriptions, whatever it is that you guys need to do. Make sure that you're able to kind of take care of the physical needs of your family. And then what is it that you can start doing to make sure that your expenses are covered? Are there extra subscriptions that you can start looking at now? Can you start looking at, recurring expenses and recurring charges, things that you can start taking away at? Every year in the spring, I look at all of our family's household expenses just because I want to plan for the year. And so springtime is really a great time to start looking at, those hidden fees. Can you start renegotiating credit card rates? Can you move your bank? Maybe your bank has monthly maintenance fees. Are there opportunities for you to change your bank to maybe an online banking platform where it's free for checking and saving accounts so that you're not paying those monthly maintenance charges? Can you renegotiate credit card fees? If you have cable, can you switch to streaming? Can you look at your wireless charges, your cell phone plan, things like that? Are there areas for you to start cutting back right now and start putting that money into savings? You may find that you have a savings of $250, $300 a month in just additional overages or interest charges that you can start negotiating right now and get rid of. Then are there other things that you can start doing? Are there, in the time that we're in, there aren't a lot of luxury things that people are doing, but you never know. There may be some things that you are able to scale back on even further. And then are you able to start your transition planning sooner than later? Can you start researching new roles? Can you start reaching out and interviewing and networking and doing other things? Can you start getting involved in maybe social groups that are network friendly, things like that? I'm a part of the Elevate community. I love it because there's just a host of different skill sets and experiences and industries and demographics that are involved in Elevate. But there's so many other things that you can do to make sure that you are socializing, that you are in the job market. And again, make sure that you are really clear about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So let me run back my 3 real quick and get out of here. The first one is being clear about what it is that you want to accomplish. Why do you want to leave? The second one is having a plan. You need to be able to control the narrative, and control the timing. And then you also need to do some research to make sure that you know what your next steps are. And then there is the financial piece of leaving your job. Make sure that you can afford to be unemployed and that you are not walking away and leaving yourself, your family, and your household exposed. Once again, I am Paquetia Goodwin. I am a certified career development coach. I work with individual contributors and I help them execute a meaningful job search. And then after they have secured the new role, I help them navigate their career, helping them to construct a very powerful development and performance plan, having those conversations, being really clear. I help them address mindsets that hold us back because there are so many things that we struggle with. And then I just help and support them through the transitions as they come. So make sure that you are doing right by yourself and that you're not just being emotional and deciding to quit your job because you saw a post on social media. It's not trendy to be broke. It's not trendy to be unemployed. And it's definitely not trendy to be happy. So do what makes you happy and do what's best for you in your house. I will talk to you later, guys. Thanks.